Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show. I was being screamed at now by the producer. I don't know why, but why was I being screamed at, Ezra?
I'm staying out of it.
I don't know. Ezra, welcome back to the show. I missed you the last few weeks, and of course, everybody had off for the holiday last
I
week.
missed you guys also. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyways, welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a happy Hanukkah. I did not because I didn't have enough donuts. No, of course I you saw my video.
I've seen your videos. It looks like you had.
You're not talking into the mic. I can't hear a word you're saying.
Speaking into the mic.
No, well, I don't hear a word you're saying. I don't know what our producer did, but he doesn't want you to talk. But can you
hear me now?
let me hear you? I don't hear you, Ezra. I don't know. I don't know why you're not working. I don't know, Ezra. We're just going to complain about you. Anyways, everybody, I had a great Hanukkah. I had all the relatives, all my nephews and nieces and whatever, 50, 60 people over. We didn't make a big party for everybody this year because I wasn't feeling so well. And then, Ezra, I went to my doctor and he said I had pneumonia. I said, what do you say I have pneumonia? He says, you hurt your ribs. I said, I fell down. Hello?
Yes. Now you hear me.
Now I
Okay.
hear you.
All right, we had technical difficulties.
You have a wonderful voice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just not
So,
gonna sing,
anyways,
okay?
can I tell my story?
Go ahead.
So,
Mr.
anyways, I
Pneumonia.
fell down. I hurt my ribs, and that's my coffee, by the way, producer. He took my coffee from me. I don't know why he took my coffee. Anyways, and so I hurt my ribs, and the guy says I had pneumonia. I said I don't have pneumonia. I hurt my ribs. So he gave me antibiotic. I'm feeling better, so I'm not coughing. This show I will not cough because I'm better. But he said that my pneumonia went away, but my ribs hurt me. I don't know. I'm a real man. I'm not gonna cry. Anyways, everybody, Ezra,
You were
welcome
just
back.
crying 2 minutes ago.
I was I not crying? I'm a real man. Men don't cry.
Okay, so you're
I'll
wailing.
cry. I'll tell you why.
So you're wailing.
I'll tell you why I did cry in a minute. Anyways, our phone number to call into the show, everybody, is 646-974-1581. As always, we'll have phone problems, but we're still going to let you call in. 646-974-1581. That's for Lenny, my friend. Also, everybody, and we're going to start the show quickly with my friend Ezra Levy, attorney at law, and he's a very good man. He specializes in criminal matters, including weapons possessions, drug offenses, domestic violence, theft offenses, assaults, DWI, 917-755-1187, 917, I hope my producer posted it, 755-1187. I don't know. I don't see it on the screen. Why don't I see it on the screen? I don't know. He's not telling the truth. Criminal and family court orders of protection and defense, 917-755-1187. Email Ezra Levy Law Firm at gmail.com, EZRALEVYLAWFIRM at gmail.com. Ezra, what's your phone number?
917-755-1187.
And I want you to know something. Ezra, even though you're mayor, okay, you're mayor.
How's your mayor?
And I know. And your stupid governor. She promised the mandates. The mandates are not gone. Everybody says it's gone. Ezra, are they still taking our people to court for criminal tickets from the?
They still are.
And now, just in case you think I'm lying, here's the lawyer that went to represent somebody. Right, Ezra?
Yes.
So
they still
it
are.
doesn't go away. They're still doing it behind the scenes. You guys don't even know the hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. I fought over $4 million in pandemic fines out of the 51 million in my community. Just imagine the rest of the city. So why am I telling you this? And Ezra, why do you think I'm telling you this?
Because somebody is announcing his candidacy.
That's right, everybody. I'm announcing my official candidacy, which I did already, and today I posted a video. Did you like my video?
Yeah, it was very Trump-esque.
It was
Very Trump-esque.
It was an old video that people really didn't pay attention. I dabbled with it a little bit, and I reposted.
Yeah, you've lost weight since that video.
What? I
You've
lost a
weight
lot of
since
weight.
the video.
Guys, I lost, since that video, I lost 80 pounds. And I'm skinny. Am I good looking?
I'm not going to go there.
Come on, Ezra. One time, give me a
Okay,
compliment.
you look very handsome
Thank
tonight.
God. Wow, I
Okay.
can drag it out of you. But I did do a video. I posted it on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And I want you to know, guys, I am running for city council. And I want you to know, and don't get upset with me, Ezra, but Mr. Kalman Yeager, and I told it to everybody, I went to a holiday party to the Republicans because I've now switched to the Republican Party. And I told him I want to represent them. And Kalman Yeager came to this party to pitch himself, a Democrat. The Republicans let him speak. And here's the worst part of it all. You know, Carmen came over to me privately after everybody wasn't looking, and we hugged each other. I'm his friend. Don't get me wrong. I'm friends with everybody. I don't agree on his policies, and I get upset with him on personal things. But the truth of the matter is, I'm a friend, and I'm a friend of everybody's. And Carmen, when I win the election, will be my constituent. But he said to me, Heshy, give me 2 more years. Let me go. And I said, no, Carmen. No, you didn't do anything for 6 years. I want to debate. And I promise you, Carmen's not going to debate me. He's scared. He thinks I'm a dummy, but I'm not a dummy. I'm smarter than you. And I'm going to win that debate. So, Carmen, let's see your debate. And, guys, HeshyTishler.com is my website. Donate to my website. I've already raised money, but I'm going to go by the book. I want you to donate $25, $10, $30, $175. I want to destroy Carmen. I want to do matching funds. My name is HeshyTishler.com. I know I'm pitching you guys. I'm using this show for myself. I'm using it for you guys. I'm using it for you. Then on my way to shul on Shabbos, synagogue, I was walking to the hospital. I bump into my assemblyman. And my assemblyman is a good friend of mine, Mr. Eichens. He says, Heshy, why run? Next year, 2 years from now, when Carmen finishes his job, because he just wants to retire, let him do his 2 years. Why should I let him do 2 more years of nothing for my community? So I told Eichenstein, no, I'm not going to run in an open field. I'm going to run now. Either the people want to change now or they're going to want to change later, but I'm not going to wait till later. I'm qualified to do it now. In a couple of years from now, I'm going to do my own thing because, I make quite a bit of money. And if the people don't want me, like today, I went and took somebody to the hospital. In the mornings, I drive hospitals and doctors. And when I got there, I bumped into Mr. Finkelstein, a lawyer, one of your criminal lawyers.
Okay.
He ran for judge. I helped him out.
Oh, Charles?
Charles,
I know.
very nice man. And I met him at the doctor's, and then I drove him home. And he says to me, Heshy, why do you let them ridicule you? Why do you let them knock you and make fun of you? Why do you how can you take this abuse? And I said to him simple. I said, Charles, why do you think I do this? You think I care that they ridicule me or make fun of me? I'm here to help others. Why do you think I went to take people to the hospital, to the doctor? Why do you think I want to do good? Why do you think I taken children or felons off the street? Why do you think I want to make changes to the law? I don't care if you ridicule me. It's one guy. You want to put me in jail, one guy, and Charles says he couldn't take this, and that's why he's not doing it again. Well, I'm doing it. Anyways, we're going to start my show, and I'm going to give you a great quote. Are you ready? And by the way, I'm going to wish all of you a happy New Year, and I hope you had a happy, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. I had a great time Christmas. I got a present, by the way.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. It was Shabbos. It was day after Shabbos. So
Right.
Sunday.
You know what my present was?
What was it?
Linda didn't talk to me a whole day.
Been there, done that.
I'm kidding with you. Anyways, here's my quote, and this is a quote by Thomas Jefferson, and I'm telling it to you because I'm running for city council, and I announced I think you should watch my video. I have sworn to God, and this is true because I have sworn to God, that eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over man, my fellow citizens, and my neighbors, I will fight. And I want you to know something. Elect me, guys. I know that you don't understand that what I'm doing, why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. And that's it. I don't know. I hear myself echoing. What happened all of a sudden?
I think
It's the computer, right? Okay. Well, we're not going to get any questions. I don't know what happened. Oh, better. Anyways, everybody, here's my joke of the day. Can you laugh this week? Because I had other people on the show, and they laughed at my jokes.
Paid them.
I did.
Okay.
Here's my joke. I took Linda to the mall with my son Yaakov to buy a suit for the holidays. While we were there looking at the suits, Linda said, listen, I'm going to go out and get a drink of soda, you know what I mean, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I was sitting there with Yaakov, and they were altering the suit. When Linda returned, and I criticized her for keeping us waiting so long. I said, Linda, what took you so long? And all of a sudden, I see in her hand a big bag. I said, oh, my God, what's in the bag, Linda? And she shows me the bag, and she shows me a dress costing $1,150. I said, Linda, you know we're on an incredible tight budget. What's going on here? Linda admitted that she was wrong, but explained that she was tempted by the devil who followed her to the dress boutique. You like that one? The devil. All of a sudden, she fixes in the devil. So I said, Linda, I put my hand on her shoulders and said, Linda, when you see the devil, please resist him and tell him to get behind you. Say, Satan, get behind me. And she said to me, I did tell him that. And he said, the dress looks very good from behind me as well. was funny. There's no way that was not funny.
Okay, I guess you have to be there.
Yeah, you had to be there. Anyways, she meant by saying that the dress looked good from behind as well.
I got it.
Yeah, okay.
I got it.
Thank goodness. Anyways, my campaign is serious, everybody. I'm running for city council. I want Lenny to know it. I want my friends to know it. I want the Republican Party to know it. I don't want you to give him the Wilson Pakula. I believe that I'm entitled to it if I get the signatures, and I know that Kalman, who always says that he never stops anybody from getting on the ballot, I promise you, he hired Martin Kahn, the lawyer who went against me and spent $300,000 with Simcha Felder. He is going to try to knock me off the ballot. But here we go, Kalman. I am now not going to do this myself. I hired a top lawyer. I hired top men for signatures. We're going to go door to door. So I'm asking the people in my community, my neighborhood, and I'm asking my fellow friends who are watching me, come out. Help me in the month of March, end of February, for the full month of March. We're going to go signatures. All I need is 1,500 signatures. I'd like to get 3,000. I want to go door to door. I have the list. We can go get them. We need 3,000 out of 30,000. We can get it done. Anyways, that's what I'm going to talk. And I want to debate with Kalman Yeager. I want to ask you a question, my dear friend. Mm-hmm. You know what happened with Twitter, right? Do I have to quote you the Twitter thing?
We have so much Twitter stuff.
We have so much Twitter. Oh, forget Twitter. Before we go to Twitter, I want to talk to you. You know what's going to happen this week? This week, you're going to love this, guys. New York City's first recreational cannabis dispensary
opens tomorrow at 4:20 p.m.
Opens tomorrow at 4:20 in the afternoon at 750 Broadway. And listen to this. It's supposed to be only for the homeless people and people with HIV. Oh, please. First of all, how does homeless people can afford pot? Okay. They can't.
No. I think the money is supposed to go to help them.
Oh, the money goes to help. That's how it says.
It says, it's a dispensary. It's a nonprofit.
Yeah, wait, right. Now, but the purchase can't. You have to wait. It doesn't magically make you licensed. That means you can't use it or share it.
No. So you could buy it. You could use
all
it.
All proceeds sales of housing efforts to help formerly incarcerated New Yorkers.
Yeah.
But it's made. Here it is. Now it's to support people experiencing homelessness.
Yeah.
The
money's going to go to support homeless people so they could smoke. They could use stronger drugs than marijuana.
Right, okay.
Look, the whole thing's ridiculous.
The whole thing is ridiculous, guys.
Whether or not, look, there's a lot of pros and cons to legalizing marijuana. I'm personally against it, but it's a very good moneymaker for the city. Except the black market has been, the black market's already there.
I'm not fighting marijuana. I'm telling you marijuana is no good. But I'm telling you, don't sell it. I'll give you permission to grow it in your house. How hard is it to grow it? You take the plant, the ready-made plant, you cut it, and this way you can't sell it or
only reason to legalize it is because there's an economic advantage in taxing.
I got that.
So that's the only reason to legalize it.
But you're telling me that's not the reason. They're legalizing because people are doing it on the black market anyways.
No. What I'm saying is the city waited too long to get out the licenses. The black market's already there.
Yeah,
and it's too big right now to even take down.
I don't know. All I know is marijuana is bad. I'm telling you not to be marijuana. I was being pitched today by a politician. Says, Heshy, you're against the LGBTQ. You're against transgender. You're against abortion. No, ladies and gentlemen. Let me clear something up with you. Of course, I'm against LGBTQ in the sense that I don't want to become gay. I don't mind if whatever you want to do on your personal level and the way you want to serve your God. I got that. Be my guest. You want to be gay? Okay, I don't believe in being gay. You want to be transgender? I don't believe it, especially not for kids. It's terrible. But I don't believe in you joining my team. That means you want to do whatever you want to do it. Marriage is for a man and a woman, and it's a civil thing. You want to get union, go get yourself a contract, go to a judge, a lawyer, and get it done. I'm not telling you that you can't be gay. I'm telling you, I don't want to be gay, and I don't believe in being gay. I don't believe in abortions. But then again, I have a very big conscience on this, and you're not going to like it. I'm against abortion.
So let me just preface, because I'm saying this as a private person. I'm not part of Heshy's. I'm not saying this is part of Heshy's campaign.
Which is lying. You should know that.
I am a very big friend. I'm a very big friend of Heshy.
Ezra Levy donated to my campaign today. And he's a wonderful man.
Okay. So Heshy's
you donated to my campaign?
I did. Heshy,
Why did you donate if you don't like it?
Because I support you. But the thing is, I'm not speaking on behalf of your campaign.
Okay? Good.
So my personal views are based on my religious beliefs.
Right.
So the one here who does not support LGBTQ, I'm not going to say rights, because I support human rights of everyone, but I don't think they should be allowed to get married. I don't think they should.
With you.
I don't think they're a special class. But that's what the law is in the state.
No, I'm not
As
saying
far as
that, but I'm saying
abortion,
being gay, we can't stop that.
yes, you could.
How?
Because it's like anything else. You don't have to act out on everything you want to be. But that's the sense point. Okay.
Okay. That's a good point. I didn't even take that point into consideration.
All right. Anyway, let's not get into that. You said something about abortion.
Yeah. So abortion, again, I don't believe in abortion, but I have a problem with abortion.
Other than it's killed 65 million people.
I know. But
Okay.
Do we agree with abortion or don't we agree with abortion? I mean,
What do you mean? Do we agree with it?
I mean, there are reasons when people.
Yeah, when the mother's life is in danger, it's one thing.
No, it's what happens if they're raped. What happens
does
if
that
it's
have to do-
incest?
Again, the word rape. I'm going to say this as a defense attorney. Okay, the most common cases I've dealt with had false accusations tied to it are rape cases. You have a woman who voluntarily has relations with a man, and the next morning she says, "I was raped." Does that make it? If she had regret that she said yes the night before, does that make it a rape? So now you're going to kill a baby on top of that.
But my question too is, even if she's raped, why can't she take the morning after pill?
But she
and
could.
go-
That's
right.
that's a different story. It's not an abort. Again,
A
we're
morning
talking.
after pill is not an abortion.
Who knows if she's pregnant that morning after? You know what
Doesn't
I'm
make a
saying?
difference. But if you take the morning after
Okay,
pill,
but
you're
that's one thing.
guaranteed
That's
not to
again.
go through the whole
Okay,
system.
fine. But the thing is, that's not abort. Again, there's a difference between there's a difference between birth control and all these other stuff as opposed to having a doctor literally kill a baby.
Okay, I got you. Now I want to talk about Twitter. Did Twitter do something bad according to Elon Musk?
Okay, so Twitter.
I just want to tell you that he says that what did he write? That Musk legacy media should worry about their own billionaire corporate journalism. They committed fraud. They cooperated with the FBI. I mean, explain to me what Twitter did illegally, and is there anything illegal about
All
it?
right, so Twitter's a private company. I mean, it was a publicly held company, but it's a company. It's not a government agency.
Yeah, but they
Again,
controlled a public
They control social media, right?
which is still our First Amendment right. So when you
Again,
are
First
dealing with our
Amendment.
first,
No, so first,
you cannot,
this is-
even if you're a private company,
no,
you
this
can't
is
hold
wh-
back our First
This
Amendment.
is why I said it's not a state actor. The First Amendment, as all constitutional rights, stop the government from encroaching on certain rights that we have. Doesn't stop companies or private individuals from doing so.
Sure it does.
Of course it doesn't. Unless you're a state actor.
Look,
Heshy-
there was a
Heshy,
bakery that didn't want to bake for a gay couple,
that-
and they were
he
sued.
won. Okay, so that was, and he won, arguing that his First Amendment religious rights were being violated.
Right.
Okay, so again, he won that case. Colorado has this ordinance which forces you to support LGBTQ RSTUV
Really?
rights. Yes, it does, and that's basically what they did. And they targeted his business. They targeted now a. There's another case in the Supreme Court where also from Colorado, where they targeted somebody who does a website developments. So again, in order to violate the Bill of Rights or any other constitutional amendment, it's the government that violates it. So you need somebody who's working who's actually a government employee, or
Twitter was working with the FBI.
or working on behalf
Twitter
of.
was working with
So
the FBI.
that's a question. Now again, what we know happened, according to Elon Musk and what's coming out, okay, the FBI or some other government agent sat down with the powers that be at Twitter during the 2020 election and basically buried the Hunter Biden story.
The what?
The Hunter Biden story with the
The
laptop
Hunter
from hell.
Biden story, yeah.
Okay, so that is basically where it's coming down from.
How could you bury it? Everybody knew about it.
Actually, only if you watch Fox News, read the New York Post, or listen to conservative media. If 90% of the country did not know about it, it probably did affect the election. Again, I'm not. There's two things I want to be very clear. Donald Trump is out there saying the election was stolen from him.
Right.
Okay. In some respects, he's correct. In some respects, he's way out there. And this is the problem with Donald Trump's candidacy. He's correct in now what's coming out with this Twitter thing is something a lot of people is by burying a story that the candidate his opponent is the father of Hunter Biden, who was making a lot of money for having a job that he was not qualified for. And the allegations were that Joe Biden, while sitting as the vice president of the United States, was making money on kickbacks through his son.
But you also hear with what he did with Ukraine. That he
That's
said
true. That's okay.
that I won't even give you money.
That's what the kickbacks.
Right. No,
So
but
that's
but he
yeah.
also
He
went
said
to Ukraine,
basically, I
if
won't
you
give
don't
it to you.
fire this
Right.
guy. So,
Exactly.
this,
So
and how
that's-
come he's not being? And you can't just blame Twitter. You have to blame Facebook. You have to blame.
Right, but Twitter at least admitted to their wrongdoings. Facebook
They didn't
has yet
admit to it. Elon Musk found out about
Elon
it.
Musk is now Twitter. He's the
Yeah.
CEO of Twitter. at
So
least
he
for the-
shouldn't be punished about it at all.
well, he was not involved. He wasn't there at the time.
Right.
Okay.
So now he owns Twitter. Can Twitter be liable for past?
Again, Twitter is again. I don't see a legal case against Twitter.
Right.
I don't see who's. First of all, the only one who could argue really, who's going to argue? The New York Post that they were banned from putting a story. The story was out.
Well, they banned Trump from being on Twitter. Even
That's again. That's a company. They're allowed to do it as a private company.
I don't know.
It's
rules and
terrible. Look,
regulations.
you're right.
You just can't change the
Well,
rules
you see,
and
that's a different story. It's because they do have Twitter, Facebook, and all these other have protection that they're not considered a publisher. So therefore, they don't. The rules of that
Very
apply to every other
complicated.
one don't apply to them.
I heard recently that Bronx Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the one I hate so much, so badly, she's under investigation by the House Ethics
Yes,
Committee.
right.
Now, nobody wants to tell us what.
That's very simple.
investigation.
When she went to the it was the Met Gala. It's
The Met Gala, yeah?
Right. She was first of all, those tickets are very expensive.
Okay.
She didn't pay for them.
How do you know?
She never paid for them. So that's one of the things that's being investigated. How did she? Who paid for them? Was there a gift in kind that wasn't reported, which she has to do as a congresswoman? The other issue was there was this dress.
One minute. If she was invited to the Met Gala
It's
by
a $20,000 ticket.
stop, somebody gave her a ticket.
Nobody
But
gives
if
those
some,
tickets
I
away.
got you. But if the Met themselves, the board of directors,
They-
would have invited her as a guest, would have that been acceptable?
Would it be acceptable if they invited other people like who are not government agents and not government officials and don't charge them either? But they charged those tickets were worth at least.
So no government. So unless the official has money, like
She didn't
everybody
report it.
else,
She didn't report it, and that's a House
and
investigation.
if she would have reported it,
Possibly she get away with it. She still might get away with it.
she is going to get away with it.
Well, you don't know. Look, the you have to the House. The
I
one,
hope she gets in trouble.
I hope so too. Look, the House Ethics Committee is the only committee where you have actually equal amount of Democrats and Republicans at all times, no matter what the party is like. And basically, the reason you don't want to be investigated is your legal fees, whether you're guilty or not guilty, are tremendous. In
Yeah,
having
but
it.
you have your campaign. She has millions of dollars in her campaign. So
I'm not sure if campaign funds cover that. So I'm not sure.
No. Even what's it called again? When what's
Look,
his name again?
Anthony Weiner recently, I heard him say when he was under investigation for lying. And that's basically that's when he went through before he resigned from Congress. He lied, and that was the House investigation. He met with lawyers who deal with House Ethics Committee, and they say, "How much money do you have to spend?" And he says, "That's the reason he resigned. He resigned because he just couldn't financially afford it." Wow. And you're talking about a guy who was in Congress for a long time, so definitely had money in his coffers.
And his wife had money too.
And his wife was
But
working
Bill
for the
Clinton-
Secretary of
but
State.
Bill Clinton was able to get money, and Hillary was able to get for her legal fees.
Hillary Clinton.
donations.
Okay, Bill Clinton was not a sitting congressman.
He was a sitting
It
president.
was a sitting president. It's different thing.
That
It's different
was-
rules.
why?
There's different rules. Like, Bill Clinton was impeached. There was a lot.
Remember, House Ethics Committee does not investigate a president.
No,
or-
the House Ethics Committee investigate. So okay, the House basically self polices. So we're gonna have a very big example. This starting next week.
What?
Okay, so you know what happened in Long Island, right? So this guy.
Yeah, tell us about
So, okay,
that.
so
That's
George.
stupid.
So, no, it's
So he
not
lied. So he
no,
lied.
Okay, so let's be very clear.
Tell us the story.
Okay, so
about
George
what's he-
Santos ran in. It was an open seat. It was an
Right.
open seat
And
in
he
the
won.
third district.
This guy George Santos.
He ran
wanted to
against
be a
George
cop,
I think George Zimmerman or somebody Zimmerman.
and he won the election.
So okay, so George Santos. This is the third congressional district. It's basically it's Nassau. I think it's Nassau County with Queens County, and maybe a little Westchester. So he ran for that seat. He actually ran 2 years ago against Tom Suozzi. Suozzi beat him when he counted the paper ballots. He actually was winning before, and And then he lost the election, and now Swazi ran for the Democratic. He ran against Hochul for the Democratic nomination, so he basically vacated his congressional seat. So that's an open seat, and he won by about 5% of the vote. So which was pretty good. It was amazing in Long Island. But what George Santos has done, okay, first of all, we're not even sure if that's his name anymore. Consider everything else he lied about. So he lied. No, wait. So no, wait. Let me finish.
I graduated college.
No. So let's.
So he didn't graduate college.
Heshy, let's be clear. That's the easy stuff. Is he lied about college? He lied about where he worked. If he was at he worked for Goldman Sachs or Citigroup. That's the easy stuff. He lied about whether or not he's Jewish or Jewish, as he likes to say.
George Santos is.
Well, he claims that his maternal grandmother is a Holocaust survivor or ran away from Nazi Germany, which would make him halachically Jewish.
What was that senator who said she was an Indian?
Yeah. So that's okay. So again, those are the small things. Okay. There's a bigger issue here. About George Santos was taken to court and sued because he did not pay his rent, and he was I think it was he was in arrears for a lot, and then all of a sudden this election cycle he loaned $700,000 to his campaign. Where did that money come from?
Wow.
So that's really what the issues are. So
he must have made money. He must have had a job.
We don't know. This guy has lied about everything. So first of all,
so again,
you have to
he's allowed to lie.
Well, he also
First Amendment.
No, he's
I
not
can say whatever. What do you mean?
You want to lie? Okay,
if he's
so I voted for you. No, I want to be very clear.
No, I want to be clear. He's in Congress. He can't lie.
That's not true.
He's walking down the street and he bumps into Ezra and he tells Ezra, "Oh, I'm fat and I'm not fat."
Heshy. So George Santos made representations to his potential constituency and potential voters when he ran. Okay, and a lot of people, especially you have to understand, part of this whole Jewish issue, really what's big, is because he represents Great Neck, which has a very big conservative Jewish community, right? The Persian community is very Jewish and very pro-Republican. Now, George Santos also claims he's gay, even though he was married to a woman until a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so both him and Zimmerman...
Wow, he's very good.
So both him and... So he claims he's Hispanic, even though he's Portuguese. He's Brazilian, which is Portuguese, so he's not Hispanic. He claims he's Jewish, he claims he's gay. So all three of these are very questionable. So we're talking about... So right now, what's happening with George Santos is next week, January 3rd, Congress starts its new session. He may or may not be seated. Because what happens is the House regulates itself. So right now it looks like he's going to be seated. He'll be sworn in. And then right after that, there will be a House ethics investigation. Wow. He might be... which New York does not have a recall. So that's the only way to kick him out is either he resigns or he gets kicked out by Congress.
When I get into city council, I'm going to create legislation. And it's taking 2 terms to do recall.
Well, that's the state.
You're gonna need. I don't know why my
recall is going to have to be voted by the state legislature.
No. There's a city recall.
Well,
you can recall.
Fine. But the thing is,
do a city recall on mayors and councilmen that you can recall the election. I'm going to post legislation. So basically, like this, you're telling me that if I tell the public that I'm gay, I'll get more votes, and if of course I'm Jewish, that might help. And if I'm black, I might get no.
I don't know. Actually, that's again. We don't know what. Again, nobody knows why a specific person voted for him or didn't.
Say whatever he wants.
You could, but the thing there's an accountability.
Most politicians lie.
Okay, so now, Santos has gone on, and that's his line. Says, you mentioned Elizabeth Warren,
right?
And that's even less than because Dick Blumenthal from Connecticut, claimed he served in Vietnam, even though he never did.
Right.
So and he got away with it, and she got away with it. So he's saying, Joe Biden lies. I should get away with this.
Joe Biden did lie. What did he
lie?
What did he lie about?
Everything. Everything Joe Biden says is a lie. We know that. Okay. I want to again. You can't go in there if that's your sales pitches, like you just said. Politicians lie. If that's your justification, all right, you want to run with it. Run with it. But the bigger question is, where's the money from? And so right now, the Nassau County District Attorney's Office is opening an investigation. I'm sure she's not looking she's looking to see his filings to the Board of Elections, financial filings, any other material facts.
That good. And worst case
I'm not
scenario,
sure. Again, where did he get the money from? Where did he get the $700,000 from?
Well, he said he loaned it to his own
Where
campaign.
did he get that money if he's in arrears for
If it's his,
if he's in arrears for everything else?
Well, you know what? We just elected, and I like this guy recently. You know, he gave candy to my children. Penny Ringo. He owed a lot of money, went bankrupt. They helped him out, and look, now he's elected official.
Okay.
So you're allowed to do that. People do mess up.
No, but Penny Ringo
even I
did-
have a
but
past
Penny
that I
Ringo-
had to fight the law.
Okay,
and
but
the
Penny
government.
Ringo did not say did not file a federal election form saying that he made a $700,000 loan to his campaign.
Right.
That this is not a good way to start. The guy hasn't even taken office yet.
Okay. I
So,
got you.
if you ask me, I mean, the honorable, he's not going to do this, but the honorable thing is to resign and have a new election and
Oh,
call for
stop. Then
special
you're
election.
telling me who else has to resign? Lester
I-
Chang. You
No,
know,
no. Lester Chang
Lester
Chang
Chang
is
did not live in the
total, a
community.
total. Lester
What?
Chang is a totally different
He's a
scenario.
straight breaking of, according to you, he's a break of rules.
No, he isn't.
Sure he is. He did not live in the community.
Says who?
Says him.
It hasn't been proven.
It is proven.
It
that
hasn't been proven. He has residency. Look, there's challenges that you can make, and there's material. And he made those challenges to his residency should have been made before the election, right? We discussed this a couple weeks ago. Yes, because any objection to a candidate's qualifications are done before he gets on the ballot. This is a material.
What
This
do
is
you-
a person
what do
who's
you think?
lying about. George Santos is a completely different story than Lester Chang.
I heard him speak. If you want to call into the show, 646-974-1581. Lenny, where are you? You never call in now? All of a sudden you stop calling in. What's wrong with my mic? I can't hear myself. 646-974-1581. I forgot to give a shout out to my friend Sergeant Peter and my beautiful granddaughter, Mira Nava and Layla, who came over to my house for the weekend. They made a big mess. I used to make fun of you with your 9 children. I had 2 little girls over there. They actually, little girls, 4-year-old and 2-year-old, they destroyed my entire house. Wow, I forgot what it was. I remember when the kids used to have Lego in my house, and I used to step on it and scream in the middle of the night. I used to pack it up in a big garbage bag, throw it away. And again, 2 days later, somehow it got back. Linda just went out and bought it for $14. Crazy girl. I don't know.
More than $14 these
I want to
days.
ask you a question. I took the vaccine. I know you didn't take
Right.
the vaccine. And I just saw a news. What is it called again?
Documentary or an
no,
article?
a bunch of
Article?
doctors came out and did a
study?
No, like a news conference.
Okay.
And they came out saying that Moderna lied. The whole vaccine is no good. People are dying. Now, here's my deal. I know I'm a pretty strong guy, but I never get really sick so often. Recently, now I wasn't feeling well. Could it be that I'm not taking no more booster shots, even though they're telling me to take it? Could it be that this has taken some people die quicker? Because they're saying a lot of people did die. And could it take a little bit longer for people to die because of this vaccine shot? I am now nervous for the first time that this vaccine shot could kill me.
Okay. The studies didn't. The problem is, and this is the reason I didn't take the
But
vaccine.
they are studies.
So this is the reason. So let's be clear. The reason I didn't.
You
take
didn't take it, but you were smarter than me.
No,
Why
I
were you
didn't. I
smarter
was.
than
I
me?
also wasn't trying to get it. I also didn't have to make public appearances to get. You're a candidate at the time, so you would.
Yeah, but
Okay,
that's
that's
not
the
the
reason
point.
you did.
It's
But let
not
me
the
finish.
point.
The reason I
your
didn't take.
life is safe and my life is
No,
not.
I actually. I think everybody's life is equally valuable and equally safe or not safe, especially when there's a pandemic. The reason I didn't take it is very simple. Every other vaccine that is on the market, right, or is mandated, they make the studies and there's testing, extensive review before it's approved. This thing was basically rolled out at the end of December of 2020, and people were getting jabbed in January 2020. There was no study. There were no studies being made.
Yeah, but my point to you is now that it's
2021,
2
sorry.
years later, we should now have studies. They're saying...
Yeah, but it takes at
did
least
you read
5.
about- did you read
Actually,
about
it takes
China?
5. It takes 5 to 10 years to get these
so it's
studies
already
accurate.
3 years, but did you hear about China now? That they have supposedly, there's a big pandemic in
Yes.
China and the hospitals are full and people are dying. And now China's letting people leave again.
Right, but China. I'm not sure if China has a vaccine. That's a question. China has a zero until recently had what's called a zero COVID policy, which means as long as if there's COVID in your neighborhood or in
No,
your
no,
city,
no. I heard
wait a
they're
second,
giving
until
there's
recently.
about 70% of the country was vaccinated.
Okay, so whatever
Not
it is.
with a Moderna, with their own.
But their own
version.
thing, so we don't know what it is, right? It's some knockoff of an American thing, probably, or some European.
So it still
tech-
works. I mean,
Okay,
it's still a
if it
vaccine.
either works or it doesn't work. But what happened was China has what's called a zero COVID policy, which means if there's COVID in your neighbor or in city, they basically lock everybody into their house, whether they die or not, and do population control that way. There's been a
But
lot of
China's
pushback.
been
So,
doing it to their people a long time.
right, so there's
already,
been a
want the
lot of
population.
pushback, and as a result, China's taken the complete opposite approach: is go and just leave. So come to other countries, and that's what's happening.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know, my brother. I just know that for the first time, I'm getting nervous about the vaccine. I'm never going to take the vaccine again. And I want to know why Hochul and Mayor Adams, who promised to stop the mandates, are now not stopping the mandates, even though it's not being enforced. But why isn't it cut? Why isn't it stopped?
I mean, look,
And
my bigger problem with this is I'd like to see the teachers, the firefighters, the doctors, the first responders.
But they're getting their jobs back.
I'd like them. I want their back pay. I want them back to. I want them the days that they lost their seniority.
Well, you
all
know
that
what?
should come back.
I
to
don't.
them.
I don't want the teachers. The teachers, I have a problem.
Look, we all hate the
teachers
UFC.
Kept, those teachers kept our schools
Yes, no,
purposely closed.
No, you see, that's
they
where I
got money.
Heshy,
and
So here's where I disagree with you. Okay, and this is where you have to understand the UFT. Randy Weingarten, the UFT, and whoever her state city runs it. The UFT kept the schools closed. The rank and file teachers really had no choice in the matter.
Sure
And there are a
they
lot, no, a lot. I know a lot of teachers who objected to taking the vaccine and they lost their job as a result. So those are the ones who, again, to be a teacher in New York in the public school system, you have to be a member of the UFT.
Right.
So whether you like it or not, and a lot of them, I will tell you, I have I have a friend whose wife has been fighting tooth and nail because the UFT basically buried her, said fire her because she doesn't want to take the vaccine. They didn't want to. They instead of supporting her, they're basically knocking, trying to help the city fight, defeat her as well. So a lot of these teachers just didn't have the backing of the union.
Yeah.
So that's why I say you want to say it's the UFT. It's the UFT.
How do we break a union like the UFT?
Unfortunately, we live in New York, and that's a big problem. And I'll give
them create a better union.
Again, there's two main teachers union in the country. UFT is not. It's not going to. They're not going to be broken anytime soon, and that's the bigger problem. Like I think the time for unions has long passed.
Yeah.
The efficacy of unions has long passed, and when I was at the Legal Aid Society, we had a union, and I resigned from it early on in my career. And when I had my problems with legal aid, the union basically voted not to help me. So it's even I was covered under the.
So they just take money.
They take money, whether they take money and do whatever they want. So
I want to tell all of you guys, there's a big snowstorm in Buffalo.
Yes, about 30
and they
people.
always have it. They always have it. They shut down the city, blah blah blah. But there was a big football game, so I don't understand. You go to a football game in the snowstorm, but you shut down the city. I mean. Oh God! What did he do? He killed me again with the noise. You have this is my game to you. You know how to play the game. You people in the office. You know how to suck money. You know how to do a football game. But you shut down the people from working.
30 people died because of this thing. They were 2.5 feet.
Well, there's a lot. It's not only that. A lot of people die in New York City from not having a heat in their houses.
Right. No, but this was I mean, the bigger problem is, first of all, I'm not sure if Buffalo played a home game or a road game. So
I remember I saw people saying that
I'm
they
not
had
sure
to
if it
take
was a
out their
road.
cars by.
I'm not sure if it was a road game or a home game. So
Yeah.
they might have been out of town. But the bigger problem is that this storm, especially in the Buffalo area, was predicted as of Sunday of last week of how bad it was going to be, and the governor did not do anything. Now, Kathy Hochul is actually from Erie County, which she's a Buffalo.
But she went out there with the.
She's a Buffalo. She went there after,
Right.
way after. But the thing is, why weren't the snowplows already out there? Why weren't
That's what they do
why
always, even in New
why-
York City. They try to avoid one or two snowstorms because they don't expect more than that.
But the
and
thing
they
is-
save millions of dollars.
Yeah, but the thing is, she could. Given how, first of all, Buffalo had a bad storm earlier
Right.
in the winter. Given what was expected,
Every year they're expecting.
But no, because if it was expected last week on Thursday going to Friday and going to Shabbos was expected. There was no reason why the National Guard wasn't already ready, and because she didn't deploy the National Guard, she failed miserably in this, and this is her hometown. So I don't know what the next 4 years for really portends for her.
I don't know. She is not. I mean, she was not
qualified.
I don't know what we did with Hochul. Again, guys. It's not the Democrat or Republican Party. You got to put in a qualified person.
Exactly.
Maybe Lee wasn't qualified. I don't know what your problem was with Lee Zeldin, but he was sure better than Hochul. No questions about it.
Look, Lee Zeldin did not lose the election. Lee Zeldin had no chance of winning the election. I think it was.
I don't know. Towards the end, I felt, but you're right. I don't believe the Republican Party came out to help him hard enough. I saw that here in my neighborhood. Nobody came out here in my neighborhood.
Look, I disagree with you. I think if you look at the one state that you could say there was a red wave was New York State.
Of course.
And that's because of Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin really carried the top of the ticket, everything trickled down. But Lee Zeldin had when you start an election where it's for every Republican you have two to three registered Democratic voters, that's a very big uphill battle. Basically, the only way you win is by getting half the Democratic voters to vote Republican or not vote at all. And that's a very tall task. And he almost pulled it off.
I want to ask you a question before we get to this thing. What is your prediction for 2023? I mean, we know 2022 was horrible.
So if I could
lost a third of our portfolios to people who have money. People who they say didn't have to work is full of it. Because if you didn't work, you didn't make money.
Right.
Even though you got welfare, Medicaid, Medicare. The truth of the matter is, if I wouldn't have worked, I would have no money in my table.
Right.
I know that I had to support my programs. I had to give people every week money. I just don't understand what everybody was saying, that it was going good, you didn't need work, or people didn't want to work. It didn't make sense to me because all my employees came to work and they needed their paycheck every week. So explain to me, 2022 was a bad year.
2022 was
even though Biden says in a video, "Oh, I lowered this, I got more jobs." He's lying.
So
he killed the whole country.
The only thing Biden did was dig us further into a recession that's going to become a depression. So if you want my prediction for 2023, I really hope I'm wrong about this.
I hope you will, please, because I believe 2023 will be a better year. Because we, the people, are tired of Biden. We're not going to listen to Biden.
The problem is this. So the problem is this. Biden's still president, and he's going to be president until 2024.
Yeah.
2025. January 2025. If it's not him, it's going to become Kamala Harris taking over for him. So we really don't have that much luxury in in who the president.
The truth of the matter is, with Congress being controlled by the Republicans,
so Congress is not. It's the
Biden
House
really won't be doing.
So
anything.
that's the South. So
it never gets to the Senate.
So right. So the problem is this. There's still basically what happened last week with the new budget. There was another
$1.7 trillion.
So that's just more debt. That's just more of a bigger hole we're digging into the recession. Whenever the Congress creates money, they're borrowing from China. So that's really what it is. And eventually China's going to call in the bet.
They're not only borrowing. Really? They're only borrowing from
China. China's... or they're borrowing from America, and America has no money to lend itself anymore. So that's one problem. The other problem is the more money put out there, but it's produced by the government without anybody doing anything for it, is just...
But nobody's looking over the budget. Do you know that there's almost, what was it? I think they said there was like $600 billion given out for them not to grow food or to destroy food.
We do that every year, by the way.
But that's crazy.
That's been going on forever.
But that's crazy.
I agree with you, but that's been going on forever.
I got that. But why don't we look at the budget and say, listen, cut this?
Well,
do you understand?
Look, the bigger problem is that money was allocated so they could name some road after Michelle Obama.
Right.
Those, the money was allocated so that they could have border security in 4 Middle Eastern countries, which I can understand. I can understand there's some security. It's in America's interest to make sure Jordan has secure borders. But look at America's borders.
Right.
So and then we couldn't get the money that was allocated. That's supposed
How
to be.
How much money was given now to Ukraine, Zelensky?
It goes wherever it's reported. It's a lot. It's a lot more.
Billion,
it's a lot more.
But now here's Zelensky, a guy. I like Zelensky, The point is, he shows up at Congress. He's not even dressed like the president. He comes dressed like not
Right.
even a soldier, some guy, a hillbilly from the street, thinking that he's going to show that he's a regular guy. You still come to Congress dressed up in a suit and tie, and if
Yes.
you don't have one, I'm
You
sure
buy
the
one.
president, you go buy one. Especially if we're giving you $80 billion.
So
I
what's
don't
my look?
Did you like his speech? I didn't think
I
it
didn't
was
listen to
impressive.
this. I'll be honest with you. I didn't listen to this speech because I'm not interested.
Right.
I think. Look, I think what Putin's doing is a war crime. It's an international crime. I don't think it's right
But
now.
why can't we make a deal with Putin?
We
I'm sure that we could look.
What's
Brittany
what deal?
Griner-
What deal are you gonna make with him?
Okay, look, in the middle of a war, in the middle of that, we're upset with Russia.
Yeah.
We're arguing, they're ruining our economy, they're ruining our oil, they're
No,
doing
no,
everything
no.
bad.
Look,
Wait.
Russia's not ruining our economy. Biden ruined our economy.
Right, I got
So
you.
it's a very big difference.
But we have all the sanctions on Russia.
Okay,
so
but
the
we
whole
also
world-
know we also know that Russia owns Biden.
Got- My question to you
We also
is,
know Russia owns
we
Biden.
went and called up Mr. Putin and said, "Hi, Mr. Putin, we're going to give you a war criminal that
All right, so
sells
you-
guns,
okay,
and
so
we're going
he-
to take
okay.
Brittany Griner."
So,
No,
Heshy,
I'm
you
not
can't
saying-
compare- you can't
hold on,
compare-
I'm not saying that it was a good trade. I'm
You
saying
can't
that
compare prisoner swap to whether or not because there's going to be a war out there that we're
no,
going to
but we're
support.
able to talk to Putin calmly. So say, Putin, listen, can you stop this right now? The world is
Okay,
right now
so-
crazy.
so let's
I'm
be
sure Putin could be reasoning with.
So let's be very clear.
Nobody's talking to him from America.
Let's be very clear. Okay, there was somebody who was able to do that,
Right,
but he's no longer in the White House.
Trump.
Okay, so right because
So,
the only thing
you're
about
telling me if Trump gets elected, he'll stop this war?
I'm not sure because first of all, I don't think Trump could get elected. B,
I don't know. I'm praying that
B,
he does.
no, I'm praying a Republican
I
gets
believe,
elected.
okay, fine. But,
Fine, but I don't think-
I believe that Trump against Biden, Trump will win this time.
I'm not sure about that. So
Really?
yeah, I really am.
Biden will win after everything he's did to us.
I
with
think-
the lowest approval rating ever.
I think Trump. You want just if you want to go off the top.
Yeah,
first
yeah,
one.
yeah.
So I think when it comes to Trump, Trump has alienated I'm not gonna say his base, but he's alienated people whose votes, Republicans whose votes he needs. You see, Donald Trump is not a Republican. Donald Trump was a Democrat.
Me too.
No, but Donald Trump was a pro-choice Democrat for 60 some odd years of his life, and when he decided he's going to run for president, I'm going to get for the Republican nomination because
Right.
it's easier. Because otherwise he would have had the primary. Hillary Clinton, he probably wouldn't have succeeded. So he ran again. He ran again on the Republican line. He did tremendously well in the Republican primary. He won that because he had a very strong base that he could get the plurality of the votes that he needed, so that he could win the Republican nomination. And then he won the Electoral College, not the popular vote. He won the Electoral College against Hillary Clinton. Fast forward 4 years, nobody really gets it.
Biden, wasn't the same thing before that as well with what's his name, Obama?
Obama won popular vote and the electoral
And the
college.
electoral,
Yeah.
okay.
So, but again, it doesn't matter. You just have to win the electoral college. But and Democrats are. It's going to be very hard for a Republican to win the popular vote just because the numbers in California and New York are so skewed against Republicans anyway. That's why we have the electoral college. But again, you're taking a candidate who right now has gone. He lost 2 years ago to somebody who didn't even campaign. So, and the reason he lost was because people just hated him. The Democrats who voted for Biden,
He had
the
more votes than he had
Democrats
before.
who voted for Biden voted not for Biden as much as they just hate Donald Trump. So now fast forward 2 more years. Donald Trump now opens his new campaign. Meanwhile, he's going after people who aren't even candidates yet, going after them personally, he's playing the stupid games he did during the Republican primary, and now he's also starting to sit down with people like Kanye West and all these others. And so
Kanye West, he wanted to show the world.
he wants to show the world what.
That, look, Kanye was a friend. Kanye messed up. You don't
no,
go,
no.
even though a friend talks to.
Okay, so
I
Heshy-
don't like what Kanye did.
Heshy-
But the truth of the matter is, Kanye and Trump were buddies.
No, it's okay. This is the problem. When you're the president of the United States or a candidate for the president of the United States, you have to actually show some good judgment. Okay? You don't
So
go
if
out
your
there.
friend messes up,
He's
you
not-
just dump him like a dog.
He's not his friend. He's his friend because he says nice things about him. That's Donald Trump. I hate to say this. You want a good candidate? It's not Donald Trump. It's not Donald Trump.
Really?
Now, does that mean I would not vote for him if he's the Republican candidate?
So right now, right. So let's
I'd vote for him over any Democrat, but I don't
Okay.
think he's a good candidate.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think he's a candidate who could win. I think his time has passed. I honestly think the best thing for the Republican Party is to move on from Donald Trump.
Wow. Well, our friend Christopher Messi believes the same thing.
Right.
And I agree. I could agree with you, and then I don't agree with you. I don't see Santos running. If Santos,
DeSantis.
if
He's running.
DeSantos, I don't think so.
He's
But-
running
but-
because
but-
the time has.
You know who announced he's running? Michael Pence.
Did he announce?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
in
you
the
know.
papers.
Look, Mike Pence, I honestly think was a tremendous and effective vice president.
Because he backed
But
and
no.
was loyal to the president. The minute he became unloyal,
No,
he
didn't. No,
doesn't
no.
deserve to do it.
No, because I think he was a tremendous vice president because he actually a lot of the COVID policy as well as other policies were made and
listen to this.
implemented.
I got a thing that she completely Lisa, I don't want to say the name, completely disagrees on your views about Trump. Was
Okay,
it
that's
me
fair
or
enough.
You know a man by his fruit. Okay, Trump did all and said they were. So she's saying that Trump did do everything he said. She's disagreeing. I think
That's
she's
fair enough.
disagreeing with you.
That's fair enough.
That
Again,
you are
I-
wrong if Trump always kept his word. So you don't like who Trump associates with.
I think Donald
You
Trump.
might not be happy that I associate with gay people.
Actually, no, it's not
That's
that.
not fair.
It's not. First of all, it's again. Donald Trump has done. He's alienating.
He never said anti-Semitism is good. He met with a guy who said something bad about the Jews and said to him, "Listen, Kanye, you're wrong. Maybe I should show you the right way."
Okay, first of all, let's be very clear. But I want to be very clear. I'm not accusing Donald Trump of being anti-Semitic. I think he's been the most pro-Israel,
Right.
and pro-Jewish.
Not only
president.
pro-Jewish,
Stop.
pro-black, pro-Spanish.
I am not
everybody.
calling him a racist. And again, I'm being very clear. I voted for him twice. If you're asking me, if he's a winnable candidate, I don't think he is anymore. And the thing is, him going after, the Republican Party isn't just MAGA people. Okay, that's his base. And he's gonna carry that base in the primary, and he's probably gonna get the nomination.
I
Okay,
hope so. I
but
really
the thing
hope
is,
so.
it's not
I
the best
need a
thing for the
change.
party.
I'm trying to get to meet Joe. By the way, if somebody said we should tell George Santos to call the show. George, if you're listening to the show,
Yes,
but next
please
week I'm
do.
going to call him.
Please do.
Call into the show. We want
Hopefully, you have a better shot speaking to us and explaining
right.
stuff than you
And
did last
Ezra
night.
won't scream at you.
I promise to be nicer to you than Tulsi Gabbard was yesterday when she embarrassed the hell out of you because you couldn't
Really?
answer the straight
What
question.
did she say? I didn't
So
see
Tulsi Gabbard is
that. Has a talk show now.
No, she's a former congresswoman
Yeah,
from
right.
Hawaii, former presidential
ran-
candidate,
right.
and
I
she
like
was
her very
substituted for
much.
Tucker Carlson last night.
Yeah.
And she had George Santos on.
No.
And the first question is, what's the definition of integrity? And went all downhill from there. So
And he stayed for the whole show?
he stayed for about 8 minutes and he couldn't answer a question.
And what happened?
He just buried himself.
But did he leave the show or she let him
She's
go?
like, after a while, she said, I gave you as many opportunities to explain yourself and you just refused to do the right thing. So, I mean, he buried himself yesterday.
Wow.
And
you
you
didn't
know,
say that on the show
and
before.
honestly, if George Santos called and I had a discussion with him, I'm a very effective cross-examiner.
I'm gonna
I
call
don't think he
George.
wants to do it.
I'm going to call George. I think he's going to come on the show and I'll tell him we'll be very nice about it.
I think next week we'll be calling him Congressman Santos, and about 3 months after that, we're going to be calling him, the defendant.
Terrible. Now, one more thing before we end the show, because we're coming to the end of the show. January 6th, stupid committee.
It's over. It's
What do you mean
over.
it's over? No,
it is over.
They are now giving over to the
Okay.
DOJ complaints.
So the DOJ, let's be clear.
Stop. So 1 minute. This new Congress, they're gonna close. They closed out the January 6th committee.
So the new Congress will be Republican controlled. They will
Right.
not be the committee is done with.
Right.
The committee's finished its work. So what they did is they make criminal referrals to the DOJ. With or without the congressional referrals, DOJ is going to make their own mind up.
But they didn't make their mind up
They're
as
probably-
of yet.
look, they're
They
prob-
must have and they must have had all this evidence anyway.
Well, they are probably going to indict if they indict Donald Trump, and I really hope they don't. But if they're going to, it's not going to be for anything from January 6th. It's going to be what happened. Those documents they had down.
Oh, come on. He had. he was allowed those documents, and none of those documents were really important.
Well,
Come on, let's be
Heshy,
serious.
you and I have not seen those documents.
Doesn't make a difference.
Of course it does.
He's the president of the United
No,
States.
no.
He's allowed to see every document.
He was the president of the United States. He is now a private citizen. This is what people fail to
You
understand.
think he took home documents to just like they all said the Russian collusion?
I
They
don't
saw
know.
that was
Look,
not true.
again, I don't know what's in there, what's not in there. But it's very look, it takes a lot to get a federal judge to sign
No, it's not.
it takes
not with
to
the
search
Democrats.
a search warrant. It takes a lot for a federal judge to sign that. Especially
They went-
everybody,
stop
especially
it.
a judge
They-
knows.
They actually indicted and got people found guilty for the Russian collusion thing. I mean, come on. What was his name? His buddy from who
Mike
didn't
Flynn,
act- not Mike
General Flynn.
Not General Flynn as well.
Okay, and then-
I mean, the guy was
and George
found guilty,
Papadopoulos.
and George Papadopoulos.
Okay.
And what's the other guy who was his buddy? He was his
Paul Manafort or
no, the guy he has a show now. The guy who was his advisor, the chubby guy.
yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, okay.
So he said these guys were found guilty on a case that should have never existed, that there was no Russian collusion, but they didn't want to cooperate with Congress because they didn't have to, and they were found guilty
of lying to Congress, lying to the feds.
But there was nothing to lie about. If
But
there's
they lied.
nothing,
That's
they
the
lied
problem.
about what?
That's the problem. You're talking about Steve Bannon, brother.
Steve Bannon.
Okay, but again,
You
look,
can't lie if there's no story to lie about.
Let me be very clear. So that's
You, Mr. Lawyer, don't understand. You found something on me. You come to me like you pull me over in a.
what they did to
a cop
look.
pulls me over and says, "Look, I checked your monitor."
Let's be very clear. Again, General Flynn was set up. Okay, General Flynn was convicted by a jury and sentenced. The reason General Flynn's case was over with is the appeals process was doing pretty well for him, and then he got a full presidential pardon. But at the end of the day, he was convicted by a jury.
Which was wrong conviction because the evidence.
Oh, he
was
actually pled
lies.
guilty. I'm sorry, he pled guilty. But the thing is, again, I am very hopeful that it ends. You asked me for my prediction in 2023.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get back to some sorts of normalcy in Washington, which means nothing gets done, but at least nothing gets done, as opposed to just going after political enemies.
Well, I'm happy that idiot Dr. Fauci's gone. I'm happy that 2023 we stop all these mandates. I'm finally happy that you people have learned to stand up for your rights, that you understand you can fight the government. You can tell the cops not to come into your house. There is a 4th Amendment. There is a 16th Amendment. There is a
16th,
first...
what's the 16th? That has nothing to do with the 16th.
It has something to do. I forgot what it was.
16th Amendment has nothing to do with
I
rights.
think you're wrong. It has something to do with rights. You're
You
wrong.
mean the
I was-
6th Amendment?
No, the 16th Amendment, not the 6th Amendment. I know there's something.
Actually, the 6th. Trust me, yes.
Can you find out what the 16th Amendment is about? Somebody.
You have the rights. As the rights we always go into is the 1st, the 2nd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th,
But there's something I think.
8th, and 14th. Those are the ones we always advocate
Producer,
for.
what's the 16th Amendment about? Please help me.
The
But
16th
I
Amendment?
know the
has-
16th Amendment.
16th Amendment. It's I have a feeling it's something to do with some voting rights for somebody, but it's 13th, 14th, and 15th were the
You're picking the easy amendments. The 4th, the 5th.
yeah,
the 4th Amendment is a very serious
The
amendment.
4th Amendment is
You
a
and
good-
I used it when I was trying to keep inspectors out of a
Yeah,
building.
the 4th Amendment is very
People
important.
don't know how important the 4th Amendment is.
So
You guys skip
did
from
our
the
cracker-
1st to
did
the
our-
5th.
Did our
and the
cracker producer tell us the 16th Amendment is?
He's not telling us what the 16th Amendment is. What is the 16th Amendment? Here he comes. Anything good?
I'll look at it because I've
Let me
probably
see.
heard
Here's
of
the
it.
lawyer. Give it to the lawyer. I'm sure you see.
I've
guys,
read it before.
Watch how Heshy is as smarter than everybody else.
16th Amendment says Congress is the income tax.
Right. And they're able to abuse the income tax amendment to put us in jail. You see,
but
they're
actually,
able to use
what
every
earth are you
gimmick.
talking-
What does the amendment say?
It basically allows Congress to pass an income tax. So, yes. I told you, it wasn't one of the it's not the one we want to go after.
Watch them screw us on the 16th Amendment somehow. Anyways, everybody.
Yes, taxes will go up. Okay.
They are, and that's my point to you before I end the show. Kalman Yeager allowed them to raise our taxes by 18%. You know, Simcha Felder, that was nowhere to be found, and I like Simcha. Now he's all over the place, going to little events, and you know what the funny part is? I give out food every week. I go to these programs. I was just put on a committee for women's cancer that we're trying to build a botanical garden and raise money. These guys show up at an event and they carry a box of food, or they package a box for a day, or they show up at events, and like Simcha Eichenstein, my friend, showed up at Masbia and said, "Oh, look, I'm giving out toys." How much money did you raise for the toys? How many toys did you give? Nothing. Standing over there and handing out a prize does not work. Why aren't you at the Masaskin thing where they gave out hundreds and hundreds of toys and raised tens of thousands of dollars to give children these gifts every Hanukkah and every orphan every year for different holidays? You can't just show up at an event and show your picture and face and say that, look, I'm here. I don't need you for that.